Hi, I'm Bez, and I want to say thank you. Yeah, thank you to everyone who supported the game, and it's really encouraging to know that, yeah, it's exciting to know that 100 copies of the game have already been accounted for and are going to places like Thailand and France, Germany, and Poland. I've never been to Poland, but yeah, I hear that's where Polish people are from. And UK, where the cost of shipping is lower because it's being shipped from within the UK. And America, which is a big country. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Um, so this is my second Kickstarter. The first one was for In a Bind, the original game. And when I did that, on the very last day, I had 120 backers. I was about two-thirds of the way funded. And on the last day, all my friends got together and then they said, hey, let's spread the word. And everyone said, hey, this is a good game. This looks like great fun. Go and back Bez. And yeah, Bez is a good guy and he knows what a fun game is all about. And so this game's probably fun and we'll have good times with it. And someone was like, oh, that video is hilarious. That's worth the money on its own. And then on that final day, I got 53 backers, and that was amazing. So this time, I wanted to do something a bit more humble and low-key. I mean, I totaled 173 backers last time, and that was, quite a bit for me, but obviously for a lot of people it's nothing. But this time I learned from my mistakes. I showed final artwork so that I wouldn't be neurotic about what's good enough and what's not. I showed more final artwork as the campaign's gone on, and no one's, said, oh, this isn't good enough, and I've given people an opportunity to withdraw their pledge, so if you are still a backer at this point, I'm assuming that you have no problem with the art that you've seen. Um, I got a review very early on day 3. It wasn't quite in time for day 1. But then at the same time, I didn't really chase up PR stuff, and I was hoping for a couple more things that never emerged. But what I didn't do, which was very deliberate, I didn't go chasing up my Facebook friends and asking them to help back me. I asked, I think, 3 people personally because I knew that they had children and it would be good. And yeah, thanks, Cully. Um, and yeah, I think I put like some messages in the Facebook group for In a Bind, which obviously it's a group for In a Bind people there want to hear about it, and on my Facebook page, I think I posted about it like 3 times over the whole 21 days, and the reason for that is because I don't want to constantly be going to friends and family and say, hey, back this. Now what's happened is that a few people have played In a Bind and they have backed this again, and you backed it because you had fun with In a Bind. You even had fun with the original with your nieces and nephews, and then you said, and they loved it so much, and then you thought, hey, let's have some more copies of the game to give to young people, and yeah, that is super awesome, and it proves that there is a demand. And yeah, this time I set the goal deliberately low. No matter what, I was prepared to like pay 1.3 thousand of my own money to fund the rest of the print run, and it was more about just seeing how many people would want it, and yeah, what if there get a way to connect with people before it sells, and a way to yeah, get feedback, or also think about Kickstarter. I guess is like almost at this point I see it as a why not, because like I say, there's over an hour to go, and I am totally okay with not having any more backers. Don't get me wrong, it would be lovely if 16 backers suddenly came along and then I do the stretch goal with the shout out to London Bridge. That would be fun, but realistically I'm not going to get any more, and that is perfectly okay, because you know, there are a bunch of you and you want the game. And so I was speaking to a buyer, someone quite important, who sells thousands of copies of every single game she buys, a few days ago, and she asked me, you know, you made in a bind, that was ultimately you're wanting to make money from it, aren't you? And I said, yeah, that's one of the reasons. And she said, one of the reasons, that's the reason you make something. And I think she was coming from a mindset of the only reason to do anything is to make money, which, yes, if you offered me £1,000,000, I'm not going to not accept it, and I am going to take some of her feedback and try to make a version 2 of In a Bind at some point and make it a lot more mass market with vector graphics and stark stuff. But I think ultimately the real reason that I make these games is because I like the idea of bringing joy into people's lives. And so, yeah, with all these 100 copies, like I said, going to Thailand, all around Europe and America, it's like flying around the country, and there's over 100 copies. I'm going to be facilitating joy, and there's an egotistical sense of pride. And when people post the photos in the Facebook group, that is my favourite thing ever. And no one's actually emailed me any photos, but if you do when you get your game, that would be super awesome. But like have some, maybe I'll have some competition or something, and but yeah, at this point now, it is the time for me to get this made. I've shown some of the drawings that and paintings that I've done that are going to be the final artwork. You've been okay with that, that's cool. I'm going to keep doing stuff. It is not going to be perfect, nothing is perfect outside of a mathematical construct, but it is going to be alright. And yeah, it's going to be alright, and I'm going to get this done, and I really hope that when it is done, all of you really enjoy it, because that is ultimately what matters. And I think for me, that is kind of why I did the Kickstarter, because of the finding out how many people actually want it, and then hopefully getting that sense of connection, the egotistical sense of pride. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you all think, and I really hope you enjoy the game when it's done, because it doesn't matter whether it wouldn't matter whether there were like 10 of you or 10,000, and it's like my game's bringing joy into some people's lives, and that is awesome. And so, bye, and stay funky.